Live now on 10 Tampa Bay. A state of emergency. After Debbie, the city of Bartow is on edge as neighbors nervously watch the Peace River rise.
Traffic headaches in Tampa. The impact a midweek country concert will have on your evening out. 10 Tampa Bay is live right now.
Thanks for joining us right here on 10 Tampa Bay. I'm Frank Wiley.
And I'm Emerald Morrow, and tonight for Courtney.
Want to welcome you to our Community Connection. We are live from Kathleen. That is known for being the heart of Polk County. Over the next 90 minutes, we will examine the key issues impacting the community.
That's right. And right now, 10 Tampa Bay's Dave Wagner is live from the Kathleen Area Historical Society. And Dave, this is the hub for preserving the community's heritage.
It sure is, and we've got a live audience here today. The society here focuses on everything from historic buildings to local artifacts, and tonight you're going to hear some local music as well from a great artist here, and the generations of stories staying alive today. A lot to get to here. We're also going to show you the resiliency of this area. In 2019, a tornado ripped through, damaging Kathleen Middle School. The EF2 tore a big hole in the roof and caused significant damage to the school's gym and artwork inside. We're going to look at how that school is moving forward 5 years later. And tonight we're also going to look at the time-honored tradition of the community's spaghetti supper and a deep dive into the area's historical roots. A lot of roots here. Stay tuned as we explore the past and present of this very vibrant community. Stay with us for the next 90 minutes as we uncover the history and heart of Kathleen. Now back to you guys for today's headlines.
All right, thank you, Dave. A lot going on there. Meteorologist Bobby Deskin's joining us now. Bobby, in the last 10 minutes, you got an update on Hurricane Ernesto.
Yeah, we did the 5 o'clock.
Yep.
It's going to miss us. 5 o'clock, though, has it at 75 mile per hour winds. It will continue to strengthen, although it was at that earlier this afternoon. 989 is the pressure. Here's the good news. It's starting to finally exit the Puerto Rico area. This is a 12-hour loop. Look at the heavy rain moving from east to west across the island. And yes, finally, just the last several hours, we're starting to see it move away, and that trend will continue. There'll still be some rain bands, especially on the western coast, but things are getting better. Now, here's the latest track. Still strengthening. It's on its way. It's going to get up to around Cat 3. This is 1 mile per hour away by late tomorrow night from a Category 3 hurricane, right? It looks like briefly it could get there, and that would be during the day on Friday, and then weakening as it moves right towards Bermuda. Bermuda has to be prepared for a Cat 3 at this point, as the center of the cone is pretty close to that. But remember, the center of the storm could go anywhere in here on average, so that's why there's a little bit of room. Now look, not going to affect us directly, but this is dry air from fronts that come down. As this moves up, the wind around it will pull some of this dry air back down, and we're going to be sitting with dew points in the 60s in the middle of August. Doesn't happen a lot, and I think it happens Friday, Saturday, and even into Sunday. That was Friday. This is Saturday afternoon into Sunday afternoon. That will cut rain chances back as well. It's going to feel kind of nice this upcoming weekend. I'll have more details on your weekend forecast coming up. Right now, that's not the case. It's hot. It's humid. We do have some scattered showers across the area. Everything drifting to the south-southeast. I'll take a closer look at these coming up in my full forecast. If you're heading out this evening, best chance for rains east of I-75 from now through about 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and everything will dry after that, and we'll fall down into the upper 70s for lows tonight.
All right, thank you, Bobby. Well, tonight, the city of Bartow is under a local state of emergency as the Peace River rises. 10 Tampa Bay's Eric Glasser explains why there's concern not just for dozens of homes as the river reaches flood stage.
By the way, if Bartow's water treatment plant is inundated, the whole city would be impacted. Bartow emergency management workers say they have also been in touch with other communities out there. They believe excess water in the Peace River came from massive water releases.
Tonight, a Polk County man is facing murder charges and is accused of tampering with evidence. That's after Winter Haven police say he stabbed a woman last month. Now, according to detectives, Kenneth Forsyth got into an argument with Angel Snell on July 26 and apparently started a small fire when Snell approached. Detectives say a witness then overheard Snell scream that she had been stabbed. That witness then carried Snell to Inman Park and called for help. Surveillance video appears to show Forsyth running away from the area just minutes before the 911 call came through. Forsyth apparently told detectives he was running because he had a pebble in his shoe.
Tonight, the search is on for a driver who tried to cross all lanes of US 19 to make a left turn and seriously injured a motorcyclist. Troopers say a Jaguar sedan was driving north on US 19 in Pasco in the outside right turn lane. The car crossed all northbound lanes to get into the left turn lane, but because of stopped traffic out there, the car stopped in front of a motorcycle. Troopers say the motorcyclist tried to get out of the way, but hit the back of the car. The Jaguar left after that crash. If you have any information, go ahead and call FHP. Tonight, new developments in the Wander Franco case involving a minor. Dominican media outlets say the father of the child is now requesting the trial be dismissed. Today, Franco's trial was delayed until at least September. His attorneys say they need more time to review evidence. Franco is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a 14-year-old. The Rays placed him on the restricted list in July.
Election day is almost here, and you have until Sunday in Sarasota County to vote early in next week's Florida primary. Now, several early voting locations are open throughout the Tampa Bay region. In Sarasota County, the supervisor of elections says more than 5,000 people have already cast their ballot. Supervisor Ron Turner says between vote by mail and traditional casting, turnout has been strong. Several counties also have a number of races, and state elections officials say more Democrats have voted by mail than Republicans. And statewide, nearly 1.2 million Floridians have already cast their ballot. Early voting does end this weekend, but deadlines between Saturday and Sunday do vary. So please be sure to check your county's website. And remember, Florida is a closed primary state, so only voters who are registered members of a political party may vote. In Sarasota County, 10 Tampa Bay questions two commission candidates about Hurricane Debbie flooding as neighbors blame overdevelopment. In the next half hour, their response as cleanup continues. Extra company to step up. Contractors are picking up debris in a veteran's backyard. Now, tonight at 6, the circumstances that are beyond your energy company's policy.
2 astronauts embarking on an 8-day trip now may spend 8 months in space. Tonight, NASA providing an update on the Boeing Starliner. Coming up, the potential plan to bring them home.
10 Tampa Bay keeps you informed, prepared, and connected to your community. Today, when you think of strawberries, you think of Plant City. But the Polk County community of Kathleen has its own strawberry history. A history that a storm almost wiped away.
This school in Kathleen was almost destroyed by a tornado. Evangelista Bruton, how they saved this historic school and what it means to the community.
And it's a place where neighbors get together almost weekly for food and community.
The people and the history, I think, is what keeps me here.
Then,
and the spirit just say, this is it. This is what you need to do.
She's 95 and has more energy than most people. How this special lady helps younger seniors in her community thrive. 10 Tampa Bay's Community Connection, live in Kathleen, continues at 5. 10 Tampa Bay closed captioning is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Great things are happening in Tampa Bay. Meet the heroes who are changing lives and communities. Watch Beautiful People every Thursday morning. Sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
Kathleen, Florida was once a thriving hub for strawberry farming with schools that operated from April to December so students could harvest the crops. This evening, we explore the rich history of this remarkable town. We are here with Ava Little, one of the local performers here, singer-songwriter. Ava, we appreciate you. I'm sorry to interrupt your performance here. Thank you. You sound beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, great. Awesome. Well, it's so nice to hear you're going to be performing throughout this newscast, and we appreciate you being with us this evening. I know the crowd loves it here, and a lot of them know you pretty well, I notice. So anyway, want to talk a little bit about the Kathleen Historical Society. One of the things they do is they have a spaghetti supper. But as 10 Tampa Bay photojournalist Ishmael Rivera tells us right now, it is more than just serving up food. And we are told they're going to feed us tonight as well. We have vendors over this way. Pulled pork is on the menu tonight, mac and cheese, a lot of great food. We're going to visit with them shortly here. Bobby, we had a line of showers move through a little while ago, but things have cleared up nicely for this evening.
And that was the best chance for rain, Dave. And I think basically you're going to end up staying dry for the rest of the evening. Just a real small chance. Most of us won't see any more rain left over. Beautiful shot of the water here at Bellwether Beach Resort at St. Pete Beach. Look at that. He got the beach all to himself, at least if you zoom in that close, right? Fantastic afternoon. 92, feels like it's 102. Dew points in the mid-70s. I keep saying that one because that's what's going to lower. You can see our air temps generally in the low 90s to upper 80s. Valrico at 85, Plant City at 81. We had a shower go by. Not even all areas there saw rain, but there was one nearby that dropped the temp a little bit. 84 in Lakeland, you can see the difference there. 92 at McDill and Seminole. 92 in Tarpon Springs. Newport Richey's at 90, and we're at 91 right now in Sarasota. So certainly on the warm side, muggy too. There's the rain that went through the lake. Plant City area over towards Lakeland as well. Pretty good thunderstorms up here into Citrus and Hernando. Lightning starting to wane though, but I can't rule it out forming back up, and it won't last much longer, but drifting off towards the south and the southeast. Brooksville, watch out for that, about 20 minutes or so. Eastern Hillsborough County is the best chance for rain. You see this little line coming out ahead of it right there? That's an outflow boundary. That'll help to spark some showers. I think especially out here towards Wauchula, it's kind of running into another boundary. That gives us kind of a clue. Hey, watch this area for a storm to pop up. No severe weather is expected. It's just more of a downpour than anything else. So that's about it. Look at the tops of the clouds getting blown back off towards the west. So at least it's cooling you in northern Pinellas County, northwest Hillsborough. Parts of Pasco still seeing some high clouds, so not as sunny. Now here's the Hurricane Ernesto, 75-mile-per-hour winds. That track really now, I don't want to call it a fish storm because it's not all the way until we get to Friday into Saturday. Then Bermuda has to keep an eye on it. But it will not affect the United States directly except for high surf and rip currents up and down the coast. Us, as I showed you at the top of the screen, we get this little bit of drier, just a little bit, coming back down in our direction. You see it getting here by late, really midday on Friday. So even though the front comes through late tomorrow night, that drier patch of air is going to take until Friday to get in here. But dew points in the 60s. For most areas means overnight lows, especially Saturday morning and Sunday morning, will be in the 60s, many areas. The beaches, lower 70s. You see Saturday it dips and we start to come back up slowly as we get into next week. So not oppressive. When you see this dip right here, you will not get a lot of rain, and that is the forecast. You can see right now our expected rain drops down to 10% or less Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then slowly picking up as we get back into next week. Staying warm, though, that's certainly the case. 91 through the weekend, and that is our average high for this time of the year.
All right, thank you, Bobby. And here's a question you probably don't get often. Well, have you seen a wild turkey roaming around? Well, the state is asking for your help in reporting all wild turkey sightings. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission is trying to learn about the bird's success. So here's the deal. The agency is hoping to reach 5,000 observations by the end of the month. And right now, it's about 80% there. The annual summer survey is part of a broader initiative to better understand wild turkeys. It will also help with turkey hunting season, which right now is open for archery and crossbow. Now you can hunt Hendry and Highlands counties as well as the rest of Zone A.
Sarasota communities fuming over the flooding from Debbie. Some pointing fingers at developers and contractors. So in the next half hour, promises from candidates running for one commissioner seat.
And 2 manatees are getting the care they need at a new Clearwater Center. In the next 3 minutes, the unique experience to help this protected species.
Ryan Seacrest joins Vanna White this fall on Wheel of Fortune.
10 Tampa Bay's weather impact alert means we put your safety first.
We have to stay with you here to get this warning out.
Alerting you to dangerous weather.
This is moving rapidly.
And we stay with you.
Be in your safe spot. Turn the TV up loud. I'll tell you when you got the all clear.
Weather impact alert warns you days before.
Sunday and Monday
to the impacts.
The flooding's going to be the big impact.
And keeps you safe.
Seek shelter in Arcadia.
Weather impact alert only on 10 Tampa Bay. 10 Tampa Bay is sponsored by Orlando Health. Learn more at orlandohealth.com. Stay informed, prepared, and connected with the meteorologists of 10 Tampa Bay. 10 Tampa Bay is sponsored by Integrity Home Solutions, where details matter.
Overdevelopment is making flooding worse. That is the claim many neighbors in Sarasota are making. Tonight, we hear from them and commissioner candidates on this impact that it's having on their community and the ballots.
And the company that was only meant for insurance of last resort. Tonight, the unexpected increase in citizens' property insurance and what leaders are doing about it. 10 Tampa Bay is live right now.
But first, our community connection continues in Kathleen. Question for you. Did you know the neighborhood is named in honor of Catherine Prime? She and her husband donating land for Kathleen's first railroad depot in the late 1800s. A little history there for you. Tonight, we explore the neighborhood and its community roots. I'm Frank Wiley.
And I'm Emerald Morrow, in tonight for Courtney. Dave Wagner is live this evening at the Kathleen Area Historical Society, where the night is just starting.
Yeah, Dave, you have a friend out there with you tonight.
I do. So many interesting people out here. Emerald and Frank here. I'm going to introduce you to a woman, Julie Bryan Harder here. 5 generations of family in this area of Kathleen here. Come on in here. Julie, let me just talk to you a little bit. Interesting. This is such an interesting place. Everybody knows her, and they know her as a school teacher, know her as a gator hunter. Interesting place. Back to you guys in the studio.
Incredible story there. Thanks, Dave. I want to show you that right there. Ernesto doing what it does right there in Puerto Rico, slamming the East Coast early this morning. This is a tropical storm flooding neighborhoods, as you would imagine, overturning structures and uprooting trees. The system leaving behind widespread power outages in the region. Still recovering 7 years after Hurricane Maria. The island's private power company says more than 500,000 customers left in the dark.
The government today is much better prepared. We have the support throughout. We have trained employees. We have the support from FEMA.
St. John and St. Croix also reporting island-wide blackouts, and President Biden has already declared a state of emergency for Puerto Rico.
Yes, and tonight, a warning for those on the country's east coast to prepare for the threat of rip currents and rough surf through the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here now, and Ernesto is only expected to get stronger, Bobby.
Yeah, we're at Cat 1 now, just barely 75-mile-per-hour winds, but it's expected to go to about 115. Which would make it Cat 3. Cat 3 starts at 111 miles per hour. It is pulling away from Puerto Rico. That's great news. That's the last 12 hours, and you can see the last of the heavy rain bands are now coming across, but that's just about it. So they have seen the worst of the weather. It was more of a rain situation for them than it was for the wind. You can see it looks so much better organized right now, and that trend will continue as it moves off towards the north and the west. Moving northwest at 16 miles per hour. Good news, because then it moves things out of here. Now, tonight we're looking at temperatures falling down quickly. Well, I shouldn't say that. Not as quickly out of the 90s. Many areas are actually getting there now, but slowly then down through the 80s. The 80s will last most of the evening hours, in fact, for most of us. Now, there are a couple of showers. You can see these lines are moving off to the south-southeast, but notice what's happening here. Most of this is actually falling apart. And if you look at the big picture, we've got one little batch up here in Citrus and Hernando County. That will continue to fall apart and get in towards northern Pasco County, a little bit thinner than what it is now. I'll track these for you. We'll take a look at look, I'm excited. It's going to be a really nice weekend coming up, and I've got that forecast for you.
All right, Bobby, that's what we'd like to hear. Thank you. Well, right now, communities in Sarasota are drying out after Debbie. Now, this is a look at the Snook Haven neighborhood earlier today. Tonight, as people continue to pick up the pieces, some are pointing a finger at developers and contractors.
Yeah, just swamping the area there. 10 Tampa Bay's Aduria Chumba speaking to neighbors and candidates vying for a commissioner seat on how overdevelopment is impacting this community. And neighbors say they are being asked to not collect dumped belongings because some of that flood water is mixed with sewer water. Folks have 60 days to apply for federal assistance after the disaster declaration.
Florida's insurer of last resort wants to raise rates after announcing an increase of 3,000 policies in the last week. Now, this comes as the state recovers from Debbie. Right now, insurance regulators are mulling over a Citizens' proposal to increase rates by more than 13% in 2025. Citizens' CEO says the increase is needed because the current rates are too low to compete with private insurance. Citizens now has nearly 1.24 million policies and says depopulation efforts will start in the fall.
All right, we'll be right back.
10 Tampa Bay closed captioning is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Mornings on 10 Tampa Bay.
Keep you informed.
The streets are being blocked off because of safety.
With live breaking news.
Turn yourself in now.
Prepared for the day ahead.
Good morning. We've got a mess out on the roads. Don't worry, though. We're going to get you around the backups
and connected to possible changes. Make sure that you have a way to get alerts. I'm going to continue to follow these storms. I'm tracking them for you.
Weekday mornings, start your day informed, prepared, and connected.
Watch 10 Tampa Bay starting at 4:30.
And we are back with your Community Connection, sharing with you all that Polk County and Kathleen has to offer. Kathleen Middle School is the first school in Northwest Polk County to offer classes past the 8th grade. An amazing story there. It was built nearly 100 years ago and has since survived a fire and a tornado. And 10 Tampa Bay's Angelicia Bruton spoke to alumni about the school's importance. All right, thank you, Angelicia. Day says for the longest time, Kathleen Middle School was seen as a community school. This school year, he hopes to get back to that by increasing parent engagement. And still ahead, we are going to take you inside the Kathleen Area Historical Society, where history helps guide this community's future. But first, Frank and Emerald, back to you.
All right, thank you, Dave. I want to show folks this right here, a live look at Raymond James Stadium. Just hours from now, country star Zach Bryan going to be playing in front of thousands of people out there. Now, this changes your commute, as you can imagine. Heavy traffic expected now through the end of that show. Right now, McEwen Boulevard, that is closed between Del Mabry and Himes Avenue. It should reopen, though, after concert traffic drops. Hanging out with Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins.
That's right. And Bobby, we know what the roads will be looking like. You got any idea? Can you tell us what it's going to be like? Dry. That's good.
That's all I can tell you about the roads.
Okay.
And that exit that come northbound off of 275 to get in the Tampa side to go up and over, it will be backed up. It's always backed up.
Always.
It'll be backed up here in the next couple of hours, but it should stay dry. I think the concert looks good. Temperatures starting out, though, in the upper 80s and dropping down through the mid to low 80s, probably about 88 down to about 84 degrees. It's going to be warm and muggy out there, but I know a lot of those fans won't really care. Let's take you live outside to the radar this afternoon. Just a couple of showers moving through, and that'll be just about it for most areas north of I-4. You can see it moving by now. This is kind of zoomed in on the Lakeland area because I wanted to take you out here to Kathleen, and you can see that shower that they saw right there. Real quick went through, and that is it. Beautiful area out there. Oh, nice for them to be out there today. And barbecue? Man, Dave's, he better bring some back for tonight. There you go with the showers drifting to the south. That little outflow boundary right there we were talking about at the top of the show around 5 o'clock. It ran into this other one, and look what's happening. You see how it's making that little shower? That's kind of like some of the little things that we look at here to try and figure out where the next shower is going to pop up. This storm here, as we mentioned earlier, also did start to develop a little bit of lightning, and that's going to get down towards the Brooksville area. Again, about another 10 to 15 minutes before it gets there. This is all sinking southward, so get down towards Waimama, Sun City Center, sprinkle coming through, a little bit of a downpour, and that would be about it. Back out at the beach, Bellwether Beach Resort, St. Pete Beach and Pass-a-Grille off in the distance. In fact, that's the Anna Maria Island out there, way off in the distance. But it's nice. 92 degrees, a little warm and muggy out there. 102 is what it feels like with those dew points in the mid-70s. 88 in Lutz, Dade City had a shower down to 82. 92, McDill and Ruskin, Riverview as well. And we've got 91 in Sarasota and Venice and Manatee County. Port Manatee checking in with 88 degrees. Now, the planner for the next several hours obviously gets us down in the upper 80s, but once we're in the 80s, we don't drop much. We'll have a light wind coming in off the water. The water's in the upper 80s. There's another reason why we're muggy. The wind coming on the back side of this, you see how it's spinning counterclockwise? That's what's going to pull down some of the drier air for us for the weekend. 75-mile-per-hour winds right now with this storm. Rain is pulling away from Puerto Rico, finally. And that's going to be the main issue that they will have to deal with, is some flooding from that and obviously power issues. But it's been more of a rain maker than a wind maker. So good news for them. There's the forecast track, and you can see that it's drifting off towards the north and strengthening out over open water. Thank goodness. Friday morning, close to Cat 3. During the day on Friday, we think it gets to Cat 3 with 115-mile-per-hour winds, and that's pretty much what Bermuda will be watching for. See the M in Bermuda? That's where the island is. So it's going to be very, very close. And the timing on that would be basically Friday night into Saturday morning. Unfortunately, it looks like a lot of it's going to happen overnight. Now, on the back side of that, all of those winds will pull down this lighter green here. That's showing you drier air, lower humidity. And that's what's filtering in. The front is actually a front comes in tomorrow, but the drier air and these dew points don't get in here until in the afternoon on Friday. But I'm telling you right now, Friday afternoon, you're going to walk outside from work and be like, man, it feels a whole lot better out here. And then here's the key. Saturday afternoon, mid-60s for dew points. Sunday afternoon, upper 60s to near 70. Saturday morning, Sunday morning, you're going to want to get up early because it's going to feel fantastic. Mid-60s for lows for most areas away from the water. Very good feeling air coming into our area, especially for the middle of August. You can see the dip in the dew point through Saturday. Then it starts to come up towards next week, but not a whole lot. It'll come up a little bit. Debbie, so things are going to be looking a little bit better. This dip, though, does cut down on our rain chances, so we're going less than 10% basically through the upcoming weekend. I think Friday and Saturday are dry. We'll watch for a stray shower on Sunday afternoon. Does stay warm, though, even though it's dry. Runners rejoice, you'll like it. Air temperatures each afternoon right around 91 degrees. 10 Tampa Bay, we'll be right back.
We are back live with your Community Connection. Did you know that Kathleen's Railroad Depot, built in the late 1800s, was once the lifeline of this town, connecting it to the rest of Florida? And talk about an engine for good. Tonight we're highlighting a local group that provides all sorts of help for people in need, especially seniors. And as 10 Tampa Bay's Community Relations Manager Catherine Burr shows you, the group's leader, well, when it comes to making a difference in her community, she's got a full head of steam. Remarkable. Catherine joins us now along with 94-year-old, not 95, Mildred McMillan.
You know, Dave, we just touched on this organization's work with the food, but they do so many other things for seniors, transportation, yard cleanups, painting, bathroom remodels. So tonight we are just so happy to be able to give you a $2,000 grant from 10 Tampa Bay and our parent company, Tegnis Foundation, Mildred.
Thank you, Tampa Bay.
Well, thank you for all of it.
And thank you, Ms. Bruce.
You have a great night and keep up the good work.
All right, back to you guys in the studio.
Isn't that sweet?
It is sweet, and it is very important, the work that they're doing. Just love to see it, and I'm so glad that they get that grant from the Tegna Foundation to continue their work. All right, well, what started as an 8-day trip to the International Space Station may now end up being an 8-month stay.
Here's the deal. Today, NASA providing updates on the 2 Boeing Starliner test pilots stuck in space. The 2 lifted off more than 2 months ago. They are not able to return home because of problems with the Boeing spacecraft. Right now, NASA saying the astronauts could hitch a ride on SpaceX's next flight early next year. NASA says it should be making a decision as soon as the end of next week. We'll be right back.